in front of the Delhi Chief Minister's official residence. We see the anti-riot police and also the RAF stationed there, because one, of course, expects that a number of Aam Aadmi Party followers will converge onto the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister's official residence. And this is going to be a pretty long night. Arvind Kejriwal has been taken into custody. He has in fact been officially arrested and he will be questioned further. He was arrested 2 hours after his questioning, and he's been arrested in a legal case of the Delhi excise liquor policy scam. And the irony is this: Arvind Kejriwal started off his political journey as an anti-corruption crusader, someone who had taken it upon himself, along with others such as Anna Hazare and the IAC movement, to root out corruption from Indian politics. And now, the irony is the anti-corruption crusader has been arrested in a case of liquor policy excise scam, another corruption case. Let's in fact listen in to some of the reactions that are coming in since the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal has taken place.
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री थे, दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री हैं और दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे। हमने शुरू से स्पष्ट किया है कि अगर जरूरत पड़ेगी तो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी जेल से सरकार चलाएंगे। कोई भी ऐसा कानून नहीं है जो उन्हें जेल से सरकार चलाने से प्रोहिबिट करता है। 2 साल में जब से इस केस का इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रहा है, 2 साल में 1 रुपए की भी रिकवरी ना ईडी ना सीबीआई कर पाई है। 500 से ज्यादा अफसर इस केस में लगे हुए थे, 1000 से ज्यादा रेड्स हुए। आम आदमी पार्टी के नेताओं के घर, मंत्रियों के घर, उनके ऑफिसेज में हर जगह रेड हुई, लेकिन उसके बावजूद 1 रुपया आज तक नहीं मिला है। तो आज लोकसभा का चुनाव अनाउंस होने के बाद अरविंद केजरीवाल का अरेस्ट एक राजनीतिक साजिश है।
अगर मुझे एक वाक्य में कहना पड़े अरविंद केजरीवाल के घर के बाहर क्या हो रहा है, तो मैं कहूंगा इट इज सेलिब्रेशन ऑफ करप्शन। जश्न भ्रष्टाचार बनाने की कोशिश आम आदमी पार्टी के नेता और आम आदमी पार्टी के कुछ मंत्री कर रहे हैं।
All right, so those are some of the political reactions that have come in. Atishi Marlena and also Sambit Patra there talking about what has of course happened with Arvind Kejriwal. And to give us more perspective on this, we're being joined by Dr. Makarand Paranjape, who's joining us live from Bengaluru. Mr. Paranjape is of course an author and a columnist. Mr. Paranjape, this is being described as nothing short of a political earthquake. Look at the timing of it. 19th of April is when the general elections are to start. Arvind Kejriwal, a charismatic leader and also someone who was a key part of the India alliance, has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in a liquor policy excise scam. What is your reading of this?
As you rightly said, Mr. Saleh, this case has 2 aspects to it. One is the legal and the other is the political. Everybody's going to focus on the political because, as you said, the timing is so close to the elections. But the legal aspect also can't be ignored. That is why the Aam Aadmi Party is going to try to knock at the doors of the Supreme Court. I want to talk about the legal aspect just a little bit, because today the High Court did not give Mr. Kejriwal the prevention from arrest privilege that he had requested, which means that obviously the ED was able to present some evidence before the High Court. But on the other hand, let us also not forget that Mr. Kejriwal, as well as his associates, Mr. Sisodia and Mr. Sanjay Singh, who are already languishing in jail for quite a while, have been targeted under the PMLA, which is a very special kind of act. You see, under this act, the onus of innocence, to prove your innocence, lies on the accused. So this is the complication in the legal aspect of this case, and it may drag on. In the meanwhile, as you said, the other side, the political side, is going to gather a lot of steam and a lot of storm. And I wanted to say 2 things here. One is, a lot depends on how the India alliance reacts to this. If they show a united face, they could get some political mileage out of it. Secondly, and I think this is also very important, from the BJP angle, while the case may drag on, there's already a tarnishing of the image of the chief minister, whom, as you rightly said, who came to power riding on the coattails of the anti-corruption campaign. But ultimately,
I mean, not
this
the
is a case in which
some would
the
say, in fact,
verdict is going
spearheaded
to
it
lie.
along with the Anna Hazare. Not on the coattails, he spearheaded
Yes, exactly.
the anti-corruption movement. He wanted to root out corruption. This is the irony of sorts.
I myself attended one of their rallies in the Ram Leela Maidan. So it's really ironic. But the thing I wanted to say is that this is a case in which the verdict is not going to be determined only by the courts. It's going to be determined by the people, because the street fight that is going to emerge in terms of winning the narrative war, whether Kejriwal is a victim here or whether he's really corrupt. So I think the verdict will lie with the people of Delhi, and we'll see how many seats Aam Aadmi Party manages to win in Delhi, or none at all, as they lost all their Lok Sabha seats last time.
All right. Now, Mr. Paramjit, I also want you to weigh in on something that the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party have in fact said. But before I get that question for you, let me in fact read out what Derek O'Brien, important leader, has said, where he says that he vehemently condemns the arrest of Arvind Kejriwal at a time when the EC, the Election Commission, is in charge and the Model Code of Conduct is in place. He's questioning, is it possible that we can expect free and fair elections if this is the manner in which he says a political witch hunt is conducted on leaders who are in the opposition. Now, this was a perspective that's been put out by Derek O'Brien, but the question that I want to ask you, Mr. Paranjape, is this. The leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party, such as Atishi Marlena and others within the Arvind Kejriwal cabinet, have said that they are not looking to change their chief minister, and even though Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested, he will continue to run the administration from inside the prison premises. He's a sitting chief minister. I cannot think of another precedent where someone has been arrested can run the administration of a union territory, in this case, from inside the prison.
Yes, well, we've seen this in the past, though somewhat in a proxy manner, when Lalu Prasad was in jail. For a while, he continued, and then his wife ran the government for him. But this is all a part of the Aam Aadmi Party pushback against this, to make it seem as if he's this victim and the Aam Aadmi Party itself is a victim. So as I said, the ultimate trial here is in the court of the people, in the voters, in the electorate's court, not in the court of the judges and of the ED. That's what I'm trying to say. And last time, as I said, in the last Lok Sabha, Aam Aadmi Party didn't win a single Lok Sabha seat, though they're in power in terms of the assembly, the Delhi assembly, right? So if the sympathy factor works in their favor, let's see what happens in May. But the Model Code of Conduct doesn't apply in terms of the law taking its course. It only applies to political parties and how they campaign. You see, so Derek O'Brien's point, I don't think has bearing in terms of the Model Code of Conduct, at least.
All right. That's an interesting perspective there. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Paranjape, for joining us and getting us that perspective. But this is nothing less than a political earthquake of sort. The sitting Chief Minister of Delhi, the Union Territory, which is the national capital of India, has now been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate after he was questioned for 2 long hours. These are images of the police presence and also the media presence outside the Delhi Chief Minister's official residence. It remains to be seen as to how this will, of course, play out. The timing of this is something that will be questioned. Arvind Kejriwal will be looking for legal remedies, but it remains to be seen as to how all of this, of course, plays out in the court of the people of India, who will be voting from the 19th of April onwards. And Kejriwal, remember, had skipped all 9 summons that had been issued by the Enforcement Directorate since last year. He had dubbed those summons by the Enforcement Directorate as illegal. Some of the top leaders of his party, remember, are already behind bars in the alleged money laundering cases. The list includes the likes of the former Minister Satyendra Jain, the former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, and the Rajya Sabha lawmaker Sanjay Singh. And just last week, the Enforcement Directorate, remember, had also arrested the Telangana lawmaker, the TDP leader K. Kavita, who's the daughter of KCR, K. Chandrasekhar Rao. A special Delhi court, of course, had remanded her to ED custody for 7 days, alleging that Ms. Kavita, along with others, had conspired with the senior Aam Aadmi Party leaders, including with Arvind Kejriwal. The Enforcement Directorate had said in exchange for favours she was involved in paying sums of about $12 million to the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.